as they not only affect the child's ability to continue with their education, but they also impact on the government's effort in reducing poverty levels in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey conducted in 2022 noted that 15% of adolescent women between 15 and 19 years have ever been pregnant, with 12% having given birth, 1% experiencing pregnancy loss, and 3% being pregnant with their first child. Kenya National Bureau of Standards further noted that the number of teenage pregnancies is higher in rural areas, particularly in pastoralist communities, compared to urban areas. It further noted that teen pregnancies decline as the level of education rises, and further that it also declines as the level of household wealth increases. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 in Article 53(1), Part B, C, and D provides for the right of a child to free and compulsory basic education, the right to basic nutrition, shelter, and health care, and the right to protection and right to protection from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, all forms of violence, inhuman treatment and punishment that is there, and even exploitative labor. Honorable Speaker, Section 13 of the Child Act, number 29 of 2022, reiterates the right of a child to basic education and mandates the Cabinet Secretary in charge of children matters, in consultation with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of education, to develop and implement policies for the realization by every child of the Constitution of the constitutional right to education. The Basic Education Act number 14 of 2013 provides that no child should be denied admission to a public school. The above, Honorable Speaker, the above notwithstanding, children who fall pregnant in school, especially those born in poor households, are likely to drop out of school so that they can fend for their babies. This not only impacts on their right to education, but also exposes them to early marriages and exploitative labor practices as they seek to fend for themselves and their children. Madam Speaker, some schools conduct mandatory pregnancy tests without the consent of the children or of the learners, and more often than not expel any student who is discovered to be pregnant. Such children are also exposed to ridicule and harassment, and are often cited as examples of bad behavior, thus often leading them to drop out of school. It is also difficult for children who have been pregnant before to be readmitted to the school or to another school, as they are often shunned, with the school administration fearing that readmitting them will be viewed as tolerating ill behavior from students, which they are afraid of spreading to other students. Even where the child is readmitted to school, they sometimes have no one to leave the newborn baby with. Thus, leading them to either delay re-entry to school or making them not to concentrate on their studies, hence resulting to poor academic results. Madam Speaker, existing legislation only provides for the rights of children generally and does not take care of the circumstances unique to child parents. These laws do not provide for how children who fall pregnant are to be handled by the school administration during their pregnancy and also delivery. They also do not provide for ways of ensuring that once they have given birth, they are readmitted to school and have support and access to childcare facilities, particularly those without anyone to take care of their newborn babies while in school. There is also no law providing a framework for the establishment, management, and inspection of childcare facilities so as to ensure that they are safe for children. Madam Speaker, there is therefore need to create a framework to protect children in vulnerable households so as to ensure that they are able to complete their basic education and have a better chance at having better quality of life. This bill therefore seeks to provide a legal framework for the protection of their rights set out under Article 53, 1C and D of the Constitution in relation to child parents, and also through which the expectant child or a child parent can realize their right to education and at the same time ensure the care and protection of their other child, and also of standards for the establishment and regulation of care centers for child parents by county governments. Madam Speaker, clauses 4, 5, and 6 of the bill provide for the obligations of the national and county governments with respect to preventing pregnant children and child parents from dropping out of school, as well as social assistance to such children. Clause 7 of the bill provides for preparation of management plans by the school administration, which are aimed towards reduction of dropouts, as well as prescribing how pregnant children and child parents will be handled within the school. While Clause 8 of the bill provides for the rights of pregnant and parenting students, including the right to continue as they are medically capable of being in school, the right to be readmitted to school upon delivery and weaning of the baby, and the right to access adequate prenatal and antenatal health care and counseling services. Honorable Speaker, Clause 9 of the bill provides for the role of the county government in reducing dropout rates, as well as in ensuring that those who have dropped out are able to be readmitted to schools and that vulnerable children who are likely to drop out of school are catered for so that they can remain in school. While Clause 10, Honorable Speaker, of the bill provides for the school principal's role in managing teenage pregnancies in the school. Clause 11, Madam Speaker, provides for medical examination to confirm that a child is pregnant. The child cannot be compelled to undergo medical examination, and the principal may decline to inform the child's parents of the pregnancy in case they are a danger to the child. Honorable Speaker, Clause 12 and 13 provides for the pregnant child's right to receive pre- and postnatal health care and information, as well as the right to receive counseling and support services. Honorable Speaker, Clause 14 provides for confidentiality when handling the case of any child who is found to be pregnant within a school. While Clause 15 provides that Where the person responsible for pregnancy is an adult, the school principal should disclose the same to the county director of education, the council, and the nearest police station. And if the person is a teacher, an additional report is to be made to the Teacher Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, Clause 16 provides for readmission of the child to school once she has given birth and weaned the baby. She is to be readmitted at the same level she was prior to giving birth. Honorable Speaker, 17 provides that the school should not discriminate against the pregnant child while she is in school on account of being pregnant or having given birth. While 18 requires parents of the pregnant child or of child to continue their parental obligations and support the child. 19, Honorable Speaker, provides for the school's obligation to counsel the child, readmit the child once the child is born and weaned, and to continue supporting the child so that they can continue with their education. Madam Speaker, Clause 20 makes it an offense for the school administration to refuse to readmit a child once they have given birth. Upon confusion, the school principal and every member of the school administration may be fined up to 500,000 or jailed for 6 months or both. Madam Speaker, Clause 21 provides for establishment of child care centers in child care centers in or within the vicinity of an institution of basic education. Clause 22 provides that child care services provided are for the benefit of the children less than 3 years old, whose parents are children who are being readmitted to school. Clause 23, Honorable Speaker, provides for the requirements of a child care center, which includes accessibility, affordability, ability to give adequate supervision to the children, and availability of qualified personnel together for the children. Honorable Speaker, Clause 22 to 33 provide for licensing of child care centers by counties. Counties are also required to enact legislation to guide the licensing process within the county. Honorable Speaker, Clause 35 provides for the services that are to be provided in the child care center, which include the care and supervision of children, counseling of child parents, outreach programs, and recreational and activities. Madam Speaker, Clause 37 provides for inspection and evaluation of safety in the care center and the obligation to keep the premises safe for children and to have contacts of emergency services providers such as hospitals, ambulances, and firefighting services. Madam Speaker, 42 provides for continued recognition of care centers which are already in existence and are already licensed. Madam Speaker, implementing the measures proposed in the bill will ensure protection of child parents and ensure that the country moves closer to 100% access to basic education and by children in Kenya. Madam Speaker, I now want to stop with these remarks, and I beg Madam Emase, Honorable, to second.
Honorable Emase. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to second the bill on care and protection of child parents bill 2023. Madam Speaker, this is a very straightforward bill. It is very timely. It is coming at a time when we are dealing with so many issues around children, gender-based violence, pregnancies caused by even relatives, that is incest. At a time when the statistics are very clear, we are being told that 15% of women or children between the age of 15 and 19 become pregnant, where 12% are able to give birth, 3% even they lose their children in the process, and 1% happen to be pregnant for the first time. Honorable Speaker, therefore, this bill, as we have been told, seeks to provide a legal framework so that as a government we are able to manage to deal with the issue of teenage pregnancies. We have a framework that provides on how this matter is to be dealt with by the county governments, by the national government, because children or an expectant child has got rights. But this is an area which we do not seem as legislators to have given the attention that it deserves. Honorable Speaker, this bill, therefore, seeks to ensure that there is a proper plan. If a child is expectant, how should that child be handled? How should the school administration address the matter? Such that this child is guaranteed the right to education. This child's baby is taken care of by government. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to really thank Honorable Beatrice and the Senate for coming up with this bill, because teenage pregnancy is a problem. And once these children are guaranteed of education even after conceiving, then we are assured that we are able in the future, going forward, to continue bringing down the numbers in terms of these teenage pregnancies. Honorable Speaker, in each of our constituencies, every day we encounter the number of schools that are reported, even to report as many as 20 or more pregnancies, even in our schools. So we need this legislation so that these children are taken care of, there is proper guidance, there is even psychosocial, counseling in schools to guide them so that they are not harassed or ridiculed in schools, so that these children are able to continue with the school, and by ensuring that they have the right to education and they are able to continue the education, then as a nation we're able to address so many other multiplier effects of those dropouts. We're able to deal with issues of poverty. And Honorable Speaker, I think with those few remarks, I second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, allow me now to propose the question that the Care and Protection of Child Parents Bill, Senate Bill number 29 of 2023, be read a second time.
My contribution, Madam Speaker, will be very short. Madam Speaker, if you examine this bill, how come it is not a money bill? In the memorandum, it has been set there, and it is said not to be a money
Sorry,
bill.
I can't hear you. Can you start again?
I am saying, if you look at this bill, how else can you explain that it is not a money bill? Money bill. If you check the memorandum, and if you check the statements that accompany it, it is said not to be a money bill. But when you open it up, it creates centers. It talks about inspectors. These inspectors must be employed by somebody. These inspectors must be supervised or coordinated somewhere. These centers must be maintained by the public exchequer. And even when you open up those big premises of policy on protecting the child, definitely the child would have to be protected where there are functions which money follows. I am really sympathetic to the girl child. I really want to have a bill which fixes the issue of the girl child. But since this bicameral legislation process, we have had problems where good bills are lost because of the people who sponsored them or because of the thought process behind it. Were this bill originated from this house, from where my colleague sits, if she originated this bill, we wouldn't have been talking about this issue. We would have been talking about how to reinforce it and how to make it better on how to protect the girl child. But for some reason, members on the other house, they get into issues which they do not investigate very well. And this is a constitutional issue. We cannot do something about it. Article 114 happens to be a constitutional issue. Even when the emeritus lady and a very, she is a doyen of this legislation. But Honorable Emase will see the bill. In fact, she is the member of the Budget and Appropriation. Honorable Emase, please convince us that this is not a money bill. She is still consulting. But Honorable Emase, please don't mistake us. We are the fighters.
Listen.
We are the fighters for the girl child. And we want girl child to be ring-fenced. Some of us are fathers of girls. But the problem we have in this legislation is that people begin to sponsor bills without looking at the Constitution. You see an inspector there. You see the care there. It is definitely going to use the taxpayers' money. So how can it be a bill outside Article 114? Just convince us and we pass this bill with a record time. But if you are unable, my colleague, please find a way of withdrawing this bill and reintroducing it here, so that you do not go away. This thing is very important for a child. We cannot just use it on technicalities. There must be somehow of how we can pass this bill, Madam Speaker, so that the real issues of the child is protected. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Ruaraka, Honorable TJ Kajwang. I think you raise a very important point, and I think I agree with you that probably before I say anything about it, I think it's important that we allow the mover of the bill, the second of the bill, and I think also Honorable Member for Baringo, maybe we start with you. Let's hear what the members have to say, but it's a very important issue you have raised. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I also want to rise to support with a lot of amendments in this